And we are located above San Antonio de Calonge in the town of Calonge. Similar names, but different municipalities. And this development is called Vizcondado de Cabanyes. A complicated name. If you're not used to it, no one can remember it the first time. I like this development. May the fans of Platja forgive me, but I like this development more than the famous Platja development, Masno. Because first of all, it's not such a steep climb. Secondly, it's greener here. And thirdly, there's an international crowd here. There are very few of our people here, and by our I mean the post-Soviet space, but Europeans from all EU countries. Here even the street names are named after the most famous cities in the European Union. So perhaps this might have attracted European buyers to some extent. Or maybe when the development was founded, it was already founded on the basis that there would be many European buyers. So to show respect and boost sales, the streets were named after European cities. So I like this development more. And I hope you will also like the property we are going to look at today. I'm standing right next to it. It was built in the style of Spanish estates. It's not an ancient estate, it's styled after them. And before we go in, just some data, technical specifications. 1,200 square meters of land, a 267-meter house. Small, compact, but it has everything and it's ready to move in. Well, and before I invite you into the house, let me remind you, my name is Marina, you are on the Damlex Realty channel, and now let's go. Well, we are at the main entrance of the house. Please come on in. Upon entering the house, we are greeted by a small hallway, but which is very rare in Spanish houses. Right at the entrance, we have a wardrobe to hang coats. That's already a big plus. Next, what I like. From the hallway, we immediately get into the kitchen, and from the kitchen, we will move on to the dining room and then to the living room. But first things first, since the house is styled after an old masia, an estate, we have wooden beams here. This is an essential part of such houses. The whole design, the whole interior of the house is of course kept in that style. So we have brown frames here, furniture that is a la Provence, something like that. Yes. Look at this cool range hood. They used to make these in like old estates. Which of course gives character to this house. This house cannot be called faceless. It has its own style, its own, as I already said, character. And of course, this house is so individual that it will suit an equally individual, and I'm not afraid to use this word, discerning buyer who appreciates antiquity, old estates, but who doesn't want to live in an old estate for some reason, but wants something more modern yet styled after such houses. This house would be perfect. From the dining room, we move into the living room. Here we are greeted by a fireplace. From the dining room and from the living room, we go out onto a beautiful terrace. There is a high mountain here and our development goes upwards. We are in its lower part, so we don't have such a panoramic view, but even the height we have climbed is enough for us to understand how green it is around. What beautiful views. Around the town of Calonge, this is all a protected area. Nothing else can be built. That is, the developments we have will not grow any further. You can only build on those plots that are inside the development. But the developments do not expand, and this I will not stop repeating time and again. increases the value of real estate on the Costa Brava. Is it hard to find a good property? Yes. Is it hard to find a new build? Yes. But if you bought property here, no matter how old it is, it will always hold its value. This is our colossal difference from the southern regions of Spain. We have returned to the main entrance, and I invite you to go to the bedroom area. This house gives the impression of a very large, solid house. Let's start with the far bedroom. A bedroom with its own bathroom, shower, toilet. The room, well, we see it's not that big, but quite decent, and you can easily settle in here. You can put a single bed for one person, then there will be even more space. It depends on the size of your family. Look at what a beautiful bedroom. Our house is situated facing the sea, and if we went a bit higher, there is a sea view from there. Here we see the horizon, but today is very hot and a haze has come from the sea. The sea is hard to see. Actually, there is a small sea view here. And this room, just like the terrace, faces the sea directly. That is, the sun goes like this. In general, the pool area, we will go down to it later, is always in the sun. So the house is bright. If someone doesn't like it and thinks the house is dark, this is of course created by the color of the walls. Imagine if we painted all this white. Immediately, it would be a completely different perception. Another bedroom and also a double one. Two, in fact, we can already accommodate 6 people in 3 bedrooms. For these 2 bedrooms, we have another bathroom, also with a shower. Now I suggest we go downstairs. We found ourselves at the pool level, and here we have a large utility room that can be used for different purposes. First of all, a gorgeous pantry. You can never have too many pantries in a house. When you live in an apartment in the city, you can go downstairs and you have many shops, supermarkets nearby. In houses, people always stock up on food so they don't have to drive for everything. Here, look, we have a wonderful pantry where you can stock up in case, God forbid, there is some kind of COVID again. You wouldn't have to leave the house. In how this door, we have always stock up on food so they don't have to drive for everything. Here, look, we have a wonderful pantry where you can stock up in case, God forbid, there is some kind of COVID again. You wouldn't have to leave the house. Behind this door, we have all the technical equipment hidden, a diesel tank, a water heater. Here we have a toilet, so if someone really needs to go, they don't have to run upstairs, and a shower to rinse off after the pool. I think it's also very convenient and practical. Everything is thought out wisely. And this is a room that some of my clients absolutely love when there are rooms like this on the semi-basement level on the lower floor. Some call them wine cellars, some call them summer kitchens, some say it's 2-in-1. Well, look, we have a lounge area here, a dining table, and another additional kitchen, and all this with access to the pool and the barbecue. Imagine what a lovely area. Why is it very common in Spain to find houses with such a room on the semi-basement level? It's simply because in summer, when friends come over, you want to sit on the terrace by the pool, and when the terrain is sloped, the pool is at the bottom, so on the lower level they equip rooms like this. Because you must agree, sit with friends in the living room upstairs when you have an additional living room here, a bathroom, a kitchen, a barbecue, and the pool. I think it's just a wonderful place to relax, to spend leisure time with friends and family. Our garden goes all the way to the bottom. Let me remind you that there are 1,200 square meters here, and our plot is divided, so to speak, into 2 main zones. This pool area and the lower area where the fruit trees are. If fruit trees are not enough for someone, let me remind you that there are no restrictions in Spain. You can plant them all over here. Just take care of them so they bring you joy. A shower to rinse off after the pool is also here. It just fascinates me. this terrace covered. Look how wonderful. Whenever I visit any house, I always assess, of course, the level of privacy. In this house, everything is fine with privacy. Here I am sitting, and no one is bothering me. I will swim in the pool, same thing. Although the plots along the facade are not very wide. Since we have come down to this level, let's walk through this part of the garden. The garden is very well kept. It has everything: hydrangeas, roses, and fruit trees. This, I understand, is a lemon. Well, some young citrus tree is planted. And at the entrance, traditionally, we are greeted by an olive tree. Those who watch us closely, I have already spoken about this, but for those watching for the first time, I'll tell you. An olive tree at the entrance in Spain? Well, every self-respecting Spaniard will definitely plant an olive tree, because in Spain, the olive is a symbol of longevity and prosperity. Longevity because olive trees live for many years, and some olives, as they say there in Andalusia, they might have even seen the Catholic monarchs. There are such specimens. And a symbol of prosperity and wealth, well, because you can imagine in the past, the one who owned olive plantations, well, he was a local oligarch there. And Spanish olive oil is still one of the best. So when you buy houses in Spain, don't forget to plant an olive tree at the entrance of your house. And if you thought the house ended with that lower level, you are mistaken. Let's go upstairs. And this is, of course, a very cool room, a kind of grandma's attic in a good sense. I'm not joking, I'm completely serious. So cozy, where you can run away from everyone, read a book, maybe listen to music or watch some interesting movie. The house is built with high quality. We have already walked through all the floors. There is no smell, mold, or dampness anywhere. And I really like these awnings. I won't open them in case I do something wrong. But it's a pity I can't raise them. Look at the view here. From this attic, you can see the whole panorama. Look at the greenery. For me, a view like this is even more valuable than a sea view. I repeat, there is a sea view on the Costa Blanca, in Marbella, on the Costa Brava, and in France. But when you also have greenery, especially in the hot climate of the Mediterranean part of Spain, well, I wouldn't trade this for anything. And further on, we have another bedroom. Look at this bedroom, and let me remind you, 267 meters. Well, the house is very spacious. That's what a smart layout is when there are no long corridors. A wardrobe, a closet at the entrance is made in the exact same way as on this floor. Everything is thought out. Maybe someone won't like it, but I like it when people pay close attention to details. Because if they paid attention to these details, then I'm sure a lot of attention was spent on the quality of construction. Look, here's another glass door like this. We go out onto another terrace. And right here, you will be able to fully appreciate all our beauty. How close the swallows fly. I hope it's for rain, yes. All around below are vineyards. It also looks very beautiful, by the way, in autumn, when the vineyard becomes bright red, first yellow, then orange, then bright red. And for active sports lovers, there is this whole protected area. Our nature reserves are open, anyone can enter. So literally, we drive out of the development and there begin, first of all, hiking trails for those who like to walk. And also there are many cycling routes here for mountain bikers. I haven't dared to ride here yet, but someday I will get here too. And through this reserve, we can get to the town of Santa Cristina d'Aro. Let me remind you, the house is located in the town of Calonge in the Vizcondado de Cabanyes development. All details and description of the property will be in the link below this video. The price of the house is 975,000. This is just a note for those who ask us for houses under €1 million. This house costs, its price does not reach €1 million. To sum up a bit, who would I recommend this house to? I would recommend this house to people who are looking for peace and quiet, who prefer to live in an atmosphere of a European crowd without noisy entertainment events nearby in a nature reserve. There is always this kind of atmosphere here. The place is not touristy, although tourist rentals, there are houses here with tourist licenses. They are in high demand here. But again, tourist rentals here are chosen by those people who do not want to party in the thick of things near the beach, but who come to really relax, clear their heads, unwind, and relax to the fullest. Therefore, even if tourists appear here as tenants of holiday rentals, they are just as quiet and unnoticeable as the homeowners themselves. So, if you are looking for exactly something like this, I advise you to pay attention not only to this house, but to the whole area and the urbanization as a whole. And I think that you will be pleased with the comfort with which you can live here. Well, if you still have questions regarding this property, don't hesitate, write in the comments, contact us directly. Let me remind you that we can arrange a visit of any format, offline or online. Click on the bell, subscribe to our channel to always be up to date with the most important news from the world of Spanish real estate. And if you need a consultation from someone with more than 20 years of experience in real estate, you know where to turn. Marina was with you, Damlex Realty Agency. See you soon. Bye-bye.